Hey guys, welcome back to Fair Play Politics. You are back for my podcast, A Conversation with Junior Ezeonu, and I'm very lucky today to be joined by a dear friend, a major leader here in our community in North Texas, Mrs. Allison Campolo. And Allison, if you don't know, is our Tarrant County Democratic Party Chairwoman. Allison, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you so much for having me, Junior.
Thank you for joining me. I really appreciate it. Do you remember how we met?
You know, it's really funny. I don't.
How
did we meet?
It's been years. I think we met at the Christmas event y'all had. You know, whenever you're having candidates, put their name. What is it like?
Like petitions and a ballot draw.
The ballot draw.
Yeah.
The ballot draw back in 2022.
Oh my goodness.
It was like right after I got 2021.
I bet it was 2021 ballot draw.
Right after I got elected that year. So it's so good to see you again.
Oh, thank you for reminding me of that event. That was like, I think we had a chili cook-off. Was that Lola's back when it was Lola's?
In Fort Worth, I believe.
Yes. How fun was that? Well, thank you for coming out.
And thank you for all the work that you do.
Of course.
Guys, if you don't know, Allison used to be our Tarrant County Democratic Party chair. She's now the Tarrant County Democratic Party chairwoman again. Mm-hmm. Just tell us, what made you want to come back?
Well, I'm going to be really honest. I just got really pissed off at Tim O'Hare.
Gotcha.
I don't have a better reason for that.
And please tell the audience who Tim O'Hare is.
Yes, so Judge Tim O'Hare is our county judge here in Tarrant County, and he's actually statewide and nationally known as a really extremist, far-right MAGA Republican who is bringing his brand of, MAGA politics to Tarrant County. And, I stepped down as party chair in 2023, and I was focusing on local races. And you know how important local races are.
Exactly.
So to help my HEB-ISD and my little local city councilors. And I did that for a couple years, raised my kids a little bit. And then I started jumping back into county politics because of Tim O'Hare again. It's never been a secret that he's terrible, but he went to the extreme mile trying to redistrict our county in the county commissioner's court. And that started in April this year, I think. He started that whole saga of trying to redistrict the court. And so, I started organizing again at a county level just to try to bring awareness, support our Commissioner Alyssa Simmons, and, try to, get as much motivation and engagement as I could to Commissioner's Court so people knew this is happening. Commissioner's Court's so niche. So most people don't think about it, don't know what their commissioner does. Why would they be trying to redistrict? Why should people care? The whole thing. And it just so happened that our previous party chair, Crystal, announced her resignation the day before the commissioner's vote to redistrict. And so we spent that brutal day out in Commissioner's Court. We're there at 7 a.m., rallying people. We ended up having speakers. Over 200 people came. We spoke for 7 hours. It was still a brutal day. We knew what the outcome was going to be, but it was still just brutal, Yeah. And so I got home.
There all day long.
You were there all day long. And he was just extra awful to our commissioners. He was so rude and just awful. And so, got home, was just pissed off with the whole thing and thought, well, I can just do this again. I'll just stay on the county level. I'll just come back. So announced I was running again, and here I am.
Look at that. And being a chairwoman or chairman, period, for the county party is a thankless job.
It is.
It's a job that's very important, and we need good chair people for this position.
We do.
But for most county parties in Texas, y'all don't get paid. Y'all are doing this as I call y'all glorified volunteers.
We are.
That's what we are on the city council level as well.
Yes.
So appreciate the work that you put
Likewise.
in. And let's talk more about that redistricting battle that happened this summer in Tarrant County. Mm-hmm. So everybody knows about what happened in the state back in August when the state legislature redrew congressional districts after Donald Trump called them to do that. Mm-hmm. In our county, Tarrant County, although I serve on the city council for Grand Prairie, Texas, Grand Prairie's in 4 counties, Dallas, Tarrant, Ellis, and Johnson County. I live on the Tarrant County side of Grand Prairie. So on the Tarrant County side, our county judge, who in Texas, if y'all don't live in Texas, the county judge is the county executive. Think of him as being the mayor of a county. Mm-hmm. He's the mayor of Tarrant County. The county judge decided to do a mid-decade gerrymandering or mid-decade redistricting, meaning that, normally redistricting happens every 10 years following the census. He took the 2020 census data, and keep in mind in 2021, the Republicans controlled the state, the Commissioner's Court, mm-hmm. and they decided to keep the lines as they were.
Because they were balanced.
Because the lines were balanced. Mm-hmm. They found it fair. They said,
mm-hmm.
let's keep it like this. The county judge said, well, there's a chance that he may lose in 2026, and Democrats may flip the county commissioner's court 3-2 Democrat instead of 3-2 Republican.
Yep.
So he said, all right, let me just save us by doing this, redrawing the lines to where it's very difficult for Democrats to win. Yep. And Democrats now only have one seat, which is the seat where they compiled all the minority communities, the black and brown communities in Tarrant County into one district. So now, after they redrew the lines, we only have one seat that is competitive for a Democratic candidate to win or a person of color to win in Tarrant County. And we have 4 seats. Well, we have 3 seats that are uncompetitive, very difficult to flip or to win. So that's what the county judge did and has made it very difficult. But I know y'all are not sitting down and just crying about it. Y'all are fighting back. What are some things that y'all are doing right now to, get ready for 2026 to activate Tarrant County voters? Not just Tarrant County Democratic voters. You got to win over independent voters.
Sure.
What are y'all doing right now?
Well, and the interesting thing about that was he really kicked the anthill, right? We got all irritated. This is the most most people have ever been to a commissioner's court meeting that anybody can remember. Yeah. Turning out for this, getting engaged with this, learning what their commissioner's court does, learning who the judge is, who the commissioners are. He did all this, kicked that anthill, got everyone all mad, and he only made Elisa's district R+2. He only put 2 points in their win column for this.
It was only R+2?
Yes.
I've been thinking it's like an R+10 this whole time.
No.
Okay.
Isn't that funny? So they did all this effort, and now they're tired up in extremely expensive lawsuits, spending our county taxpayer money on these lawsuits because obviously we're going to sue over racist redistricting.
Exactly.
And he only made her district an R+2. And so one of the things we're going to do, to answer your question, is to outvote the bad maps. So we can do that here at the county commissioner level, and then we can also do that at the congressional level, which I told them during those redistricting hearings too, was we can so easily outvote these bad maps if we just turn out. Because I think we've all heard, and it is true, it still is true, that Tarrant County and Texas are both not Republican, they're just non-voting, right? Yeah. Like, we have enough Democrats here, and we just need to get them out to vote. And obviously, yes, we would love to bring along the independent voters, bring along the Republicans who are not full extremist MAGA Republicans. We'd love to, be the big tent party and bring everyone with us. But even if we just get out our own party, we win. And so that's, our major mission is to let people know that other Democrats live here in Tarrant County. Other Democrats live here in Texas. Yeah. We can absolutely win these things if we just turn out our own base. The Republicans have successfully sold this narrative for so long that the state is red, the county is red. Yeah. And we see that in all of our neighborhoods, right? That the Democratic vote is depressed, it's apathetic. People don't think there's any point because they're the only one in their neighborhood. And it's so not true. You know that from running for office. It's so not true.
100%.
That we just need to convince people that it's worth it to vote. And so that's our big selling point, to answer your question, is the mission from here to 2026 is let people know they're not the only Democrats there. And we do that by engaging at every level all the time, right? So turning out to commissioners court, turning out to our school boards, turning out to our city councils, and turning out to No Kings rallies, whatever it is, making sure people know that we're here, we are fighting, come join us, definitely come out and vote, and we can outvote these bad maps. So my prediction, honestly, given the swings we're going to have here in 2026 in November, combined with how annoying all of our local and statewide Republicans are, is that we'll have a huge swing in 2026, right? Yeah. And so my prediction is that this will be a 4-1 commissioner's court in 2027, just not the way Tim O'Hare wanted, right? We're going to win our county judge. We're going to win Precinct 2, which they tried to gerrymander away from us. Mm-hmm. And the cherry on top is that we're going to win Precinct 4, which is Manny Ramirez's seat. So
wow.
We're going to do it, Junior. We're going to do it. So right now they diluted this is kind of funny too, right? They diluted his district a little bit, right? Yeah. Because they had to gerrymander some of our Democrats away from us.
Exactly.
So
they made it harder for him.
Mm-hmm. And so I think now his district's only like an R+7, but you've seen which in normal world you'd be like, okay, that's a safe Republican seat. But we've seen what's happening, right? We know the swings that are coming in 2020. We've seen the swings now that with special elections, right? We're saying 10-point swings, 17-point swings. And so there's no way Manny Ramirez is going to hold on to a seat. There's no way. So this will be a 4-1 court in 2027. The Democrats will run it, and we will, actually run it like a fair, logical party should run a commissioner's court instead of this crazy clown car that Tim O'Hare has going on.
Wouldn't that be something? Yes. Y'all are hearing this right now. Allison Campolo is predicting, Chairwoman Allison Campolo is predicting on today in October of 2025 that in November of 2026, Democrats are going to flip the county commissioner's court in Tarrant County 4-1.
Yes.
It's currently 3-2, really going to become, quote, they drew it in a way that it would be 4-1. Mm-hmm. You're predicting 4-1 in the reverse.
In our favor.
Inverse.
Yes.
This is going to be fascinating.
We can revisit this clip.
I'm looking. Hey, I'm hopeful.
Yes.
I'm believing you. I know you put in the work, so
yes.
I'm looking forward to that. That would be great. So tell me this: when we look at the numbers in Tarrant County, in 2018, Beto O'Rourke won it by 4,000 votes.
Yeah.
No other Democrat won it down ballot.
That's right.
Every other Democrat lost it. In 2020, Joe Biden won it by about 1,000 to 2,000 votes. Every other Democrat lost down ballot in Tarrant County. In 2022, no one won Tarrant County.
We flipped some seats, but not countywide.
Countywide, Republicans swept the county.
Right.
In 2024, Colin Allred won it by 1,000 votes. Kamala Harris lost Tarrant County.
Yes.
What has to happen? What are Democrats not doing right to not be able to win this county down the ballot?
I think that's a really interesting question. So, and that's what we're pushing for, right? So part of the narrative is like people think that Tarrant County is a red county. And so now at least we have the data of these 4 years of saying it's not a red county. It's at least a swing county. At the very least, it's a swing county. And we're winning at the top of the ticket. How do we get those down ballot races? How do we get countywide races to win? And so I think it's part of what we're just talking about with changing the narrative, right? The narrative is so important. And so if we let other Tarrant County residents know that this is a possibility, they just need to turn out and vote, then let's do that, Yeah. So we're definitely going to be pushing that really hard. And the other thing is it's hard to overcome this self-fulfilling prophecy of people saying, well, Tarrant County's red, so they don't invest. And if you don't invest, you can't, get the engagement that you need with your voters. And if you don't get the engagement, you don't win. And if you don't win, you don't get investment. And so it's this self-fulfilling narrative constantly. It's a loop you're stuck in, And so unfortunately, part of the answer is, and it just sounds impossible, but it's always true until it happens. Part of the answer is we won't win until we win. And so once and this year will happen. 2026 will absolutely happen. We will win countywide races. I have no doubt about that. So once we get over that hump, when we start winning countywide down ballot, then the money will start staying here in Tarrant County. We'll start coming into here in Tarrant County from other places in the United States and other places in the state. And then that self-fulfilling prophecy will switch, right? It'll be a different loop that we're in, that Tarrant County can be blue, it can switch, and the investment will come in. So we will obviously work that ground game super hard as we have for the last several cycles. And it's been paying off. Like you said, it's been paying off, and we just need to stick to that. We need to keep working harder. And then once we get over that hump, I think it'll be a windfall after that.
Got you. I mean, that goes back to an idea that I truly believe in, and it's that winning begets winning.
It does.
When you start winning, you look like a winner.
Yep.
And more people want to ride with you. They want to support you.
That's right.
And they want to propel you to win more.
You just need one win, right?
It just starts with one. You win once, and then it looks like you can do some more.
Yep.
In Tarrant County and in the nation as a whole, the whole United States, Democrats are seeming to have a messaging problem.
Yeah.
This is what people say, a messaging problem.
Right. For years, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I don't think it's just a messaging problem. I also think it's a policy problem.
Okay.
I feel that Democrats sometimes don't focus as much as we should on economic issues.
Oh, yeah.
On kitchen table issues.
Yes, I agree.
I think far too often social issues are very important. We
Obviously.
cannot abandon our social issues, but understanding the way that this country is set up and this country is made up, you got to first take care of people financially, economically. What did Carville say back in the 90s? Is the economy stupid?
Yes, of course, right?
This is before I was born. But I read about it, right? So what do you think we need to do better when it comes to both our messaging and our ability to communicate the issues that are important to not just us, but your average American, your average Texan, your average resident in Tarrant County?
Yeah.
And what policies do we need to focus on to be able to connect the dots for voters so they look at us as people that are problem solvers and not just noisemakers?
Yeah, I think that's an amazing question. And so, part of it when you ask me that, part of what I'm thinking about is a national setting, which you and I have so little control of, but you and I also know that it controls a lot of what happens here, right? So regardless of how amazing our local candidates might be or what's happening in Texas right at this moment, we know a lot of what happens is because of the national rhetoric or narrative or presidential candidate or whatever and how they're treating that messaging, and it rolls down to all Democrats, right? So part of it is a national level that we can't entirely control here on the local level. But, part of it is that we just have too many messages, which I know you and I both know that really well, right? So we're a big tent party, and we often have 28 different things that we're interested in, and they are important. They all are important, but the messaging is hard. And so the Republicans often have this advantage of every single cycle, it doesn't matter who's running or what is happening in the world, they can talk about immigration, taxes, and abortion, and they're done. They just have to talk about the same three things all the time, and they're done, right? And so if we can stick to a very short list of messaging, I think we'll be really set. And so right now, if I had to advise a candidate, I would say we need to talk about public education, which is obviously under brutal attack right now in Texas. We need to talk about healthcare, which we're one of the least insured states in the nation. And we need to talk about jobs and security. And so like which is obviously also under attack. I mean, people are having such a hard time even getting jobs. Exactly. And so, if we talk about these kitchen table issues that should be so important to people, instead of letting Republicans control the narrative of saying, well, public education is suffering, so you should do homeschooling, you should do charter school, you should do private school. Yeah. And we're letting them get away with it. They're the ones making public education worse actively all the time. Yes.
And many Republican voters are finding this out over time.
Yes.
But the problem is our side doesn't communicate that.
No, we don't.
Because to go back to your point, we lack discipline when it comes to messaging.
We do.
Conservatives, Republicans are amazing when it comes to
they are laser
focused.
To
message discipline. Mm-hmm. They know what to do, they know what to say, and they're consistent.
Yep.
Democrats, we're scatterbrained. We're thinking about so many different messages, so many different things, and we're very independent when it comes to messaging. We have to centralize on certain messages, like you said, affordability, healthcare, supporting our public schools.
If we stopped there, we're done, right? Like we would walk away with it. And then, for local candidates, different. As you know, like you can talk about things that are really important to your local issues. We've seen candidates walk away with an election when they talk about nothing but supporting your library or getting curbs put on the roads or something very important to local people. And so when you stick to those kitchen table issues, like you said, I think we really succeed quite a bit.
I think so too. I think we'll see more of that in 2026. 2026 is going to be a very interesting election.
If we have elections, right?
Well, God willing, we're going to have elections. Please, Lord.
Yes.
But it's going to be a very interesting election. Are there any races happening both here in Texas, in North Texas, in Tarrant County, and maybe in the nation that you're looking at that you're really intrigued by?
Well, I'll rewind a little bit and say, back to where it just takes one win. If we can get this one win in the special election that's going on right now, which is Taylor Ramet's running for Senate District 9, happening in Texas right now. If he can walk away with this.
That's for Kelly Hancock's seat, right?
So Kelly Hancock abandoned his seat. He didn't just say, I'm not running again. He completely vacated his seat to be Greg Abbott's comptroller. So the people of SD9.
That's very true. I saw that.
Yes.
What's his name is running? Huffines. Huffines is running for that seat too.
Yes,
I remember seeing
right.
that. Yeah.
So the people of Senate District 9 have no representation in the Senate for months. They just have nobody. That was back in the spring, I think, that Hancock vacated. So there's a special election now, and so and there's two Republicans. So there's two Republicans versus our Democrat in a jungle primary, which means our Democrat could walk away with this, right? They're all on the same ballot together. The Republicans are going to be sucking away each other's votes, and all you need to get is 50% plus one to avoid a runoff and walk away with it. Yes. And can you imagine if in Fort Worth, Texas, in a bright red district, if a Democrat walked away with a special election in an off year? Like, I think the messaging would be unreal. It would be national news. Talk about a windfall. Talk about the messaging that Tarrant County can win, that Fort Worth can win, that Texas can win. Everything would be on the table if Taylor walks away with this election. I'm so excited for him. He's running an amazing campaign. So I know the state party's pulling hard for us and giving us resources. I've got people calling me from all over the state to say, how can I help, which is so encouraging. So I'm excited. And then further than that, of course, on the county level, we're really excited to unseat Tim O'Hare. So that'll be something to watch. And then, of course, our U.S. Senate race will be fascinating. So this year we've got the governor up for election and then our U.S. Senate race. So maybe somebody can unseat Greg Abbott. Maybe somebody can unseat John Cornyn. We've got great candidates popping up, as you know. And so, those are definitely piqued my interest. So
that Cornyn primary is going to be interesting.
With Paxton.
We have Paxton.
Yes.
For those that don't know, he's our attorney general. Attorney general that's had a lot of controversy, to say the least.
But he's still so popular in his party.
He is. He's still. I think he's going to win the primary.
He might.
I think
he's very realistic.
I think he'll beat Cornyn. What's making it interesting is Congressman Hunt hopped in the primary as well. Wesley Hunt from the Metro Houston area.
Yep.
So we don't know what that's going to do to the primary. I couldn't tell you. But that's going to be a very interesting congressman. And then on the Democratic side, ours is shaping out to be a very
also spicy,
fascinating primary. We have former Congressman Colin Allred, State Representative James Tallarico, and potentially some others that will hop in. I don't know.
We've all heard the rumors, right? We'll see who else pops in, I guess.
A lot of rumors. So next year, what is this? March of 2026 is going to be a very fascinating time here in Texas as a whole. But Allison, tell me this. As you're doing this work, and you've done it for years now, what is the most challenging part about being a county party chair?
That's an amazing question. Okay, so the the interesting part about being county chair in general is that you don't get elected and then you legislate, right? You get elected and then you just keep doing the same thing you're doing when you're campaigning. It's a job of relationships, right? So all you're doing is trying to connect this person with this person who can help them get that done. You're trying to encourage people to, volunteer for free constantly. You're just managing relationships. You're connecting the dots. And so the hardest part then is just making sure that your party stays focused. To go back to our messaging question, right? So like we have to stay focused on the greater goal. So like not get sidetracked with internal drama, not get sidetracked with too many messages, not get sidetracked with this or that event, but like stay on the goal. And so all the little pieces as you go along are important. Every single day is important. Every single event is important, but to stay focused on the greater goal is tough sometimes with a party this big and a tent this big. Being the big tent party is not easy. It takes a lot of relationship management, and so
a lot of balance.
And you really want to keep everybody in. You want to, and all the voices are so important, and you want to make sure to listen to those voices and act on them. But that is definitely the hardest part, is finding that balance, I guess. And
what's the most rewarding part of it?
Winning. So that would be nice. But right now our party's really growing, and I'm really feeling that warmth, I guess, from that. So, and our party is probably growing for different reasons. As number one, we've been winning in Tarrant County. It's less bleak than it feels, in past. Number two, the Republicans are pretty annoying. So we in Tarrant County have pretty terrible representation, depending on where you live. Some areas like Juniors have great local representation.
Grand Prairie, what's up?
And I have a great city councilor and now a great ISD member too. But that's it. That's where my great representation stops, right? Yeah. So like I'm represented by Republicans from top to bottom, bad Republicans, really extremist ones. And so that to say that I think maybe our party is growing too as a backlash to that, which I'm fine with. I'm glad that people are taking ownership of their own county and their own state and their own political future. And if that's the reason our party is growing, that's fine. We'll provide that home for them politically, But yeah, I feel that kind of warmth and optimism right now, even as the world is burning in general, and it's bleak, in general. I think people are becoming civically engaged, and I think that's really encouraging.
I think you also made a point recently about when Tarrant County goes, so does the nation.
True.
And I mean, in the last several elections, whichever way Tarrant County, when we talk about the president, right? Mm-hmm. In 2024, Donald Trump won Tarrant County. Yeah. He won the presidency. In 2020, Joe Biden won Tarrant County. He won the presidency. In 2016, Donald Trump won Tarrant County. He won the presidency. So for the last three elections, Tarrant County has been a bellwether for the nation.
It's a great way to put it.
So I do see a lot of investment coming into Tarrant County. I agree. A lot of competitiveness coming into Tarrant County. We're probably heading in a direction, give it another 5 to 6, maybe 8 years, where we see every seat being competitive. When we're talking about like the judicial races. Yeah. Because in Tarrant County, I had people asking me, well, Junior, why aren't people running for these judicial seats?
It's tough.
Well, folks don't know if they can win.
Yeah. And they're putting their career on the line. Exactly. It's totally different for the judges, right? Lawyers, right? I mean, it's totally different. It's very risky to run for judge unless you're going to win, right?
Exactly. So Tarrant County is not Dallas County. Dallas County is solid blue. Mm-hmm. Collin County is another one that's interesting.
It's going.
That's becoming much more competitive. Denton County, Collin County were very competitive in 2020.
Yes.
2024, not as much. Tarrant County has been competitive for the last 10 years at this point. We're seeing a lot of shifts and changes. I think demographic changes are playing a part, but also you see a lot of folks that have been conservative their whole life that just reject Donald Trump.
Yes.
That just like I know people in this city across the county that tell me, yeah, I'm a conservative, but I don't like Trump. That's what they'll tell me. They hate him. They're against him. Do y'all try to do outreach? Like, does the county party do outreach to folks that, may be wavering on, like, do y'all try to talk to Republicans and independents, or are you solely focused on Dems?
So the county party really takes responsibility for the Democrats, right? Yeah. Just turning out the base, because that's plenty of work as it is. And then that allows and I tell this outright to candidates and elected officials too, that gives them the space to talk to independents and Republicans who might be interested.
Makes sense.
Because like a big part of being a Democrat here in Tarrant is like working efficiently, right? We only have so many resources. Forever, we've only had very limited resources because people don't know to donate here. So how do you use that efficiently? So we focus on the base, let the candidates and elected officials focus on the independents and Republicans. But you're absolutely right. I mean, we've seen the huge vote split between anytime Ted Cruz is on the ballot and anytime Donald Trump's on the ballot, because Republicans hate them. They hate their own people so bad. Yeah. And it causes a really weird ballot outcome because you'll see, Beto or Biden or whoever's running against one of those awful candidates, they do pretty well. And then our county-wides don't do quite as well. And it's because of that huge vote split. It's really interesting that they hate their own candidates that much that they'll vote for a Democrat, but we'll take them.
It's very fascinating. Like you will see, I'm going to tell you guys, go on the Tarrant County government website, elections website, and you will see voters that will all come out and vote for the down ballot conservatives, but will vote for Democrats or independents for the top of the ticket, whether it's Donald Trump or Ted Cruz. Yeah. They're fine with Abbott for whatever reason. Abbott, but I have a hypothesis on that one. But Paxton, they'll vote against Paxton.
You think so?
Yeah. No. Well, in the past, Tarrant County voters, conservative-leaning voters, whether it's conservative-leaning independents or Republicans, would vote against Paxton.
They tend to go away from him.
Yeah, either they're voting for the independent or the Democrat. We might still lose the race, but it'll be very competitive, very close, and then they'll go and vote down ballot. I think the other thing that people don't talk about, you have a lot of Democratic voters that don't vote down ballot.
Oh my gosh, yes.
The ballot drop-off is very high.
And we try to do so much voter education. Everybody tries to do so much voter education about vote all the way to the bottom. And every year we come up with a new different cute slogan, right? But it's tough to convince.
But it's also the job of the candidates.
Yes, it is.
And I'll tell you this. The candidates have to be the ones to reach out to these voters. Y'all are doing your job.
We try.
But it takes both sides, right? It takes the county party and the candidates themselves.
Definitely.
Because voters will literally go to the ballot box and be voting until they can find that
their
candidate that knocked on their door.
Yes, the one.
It happened. I know when I was running for council the first time and the second time, when I ran for re-election, people would be like, "Dude, I don't care about nobody else. I'm trying to vote for you." I'm like, "No, vote for everybody too,
yes, please."
But they're like, "I don't know them,"
and you're like, "Here's the list. Please vote for these people."
Exactly. I'm like, "Please vote for them too." But they're like, "Yeah, they didn't knock on my door. You knocked on my door."
And you're like, "Okay, great, thank you." But
exactly. But we also need good folks to serve alongside us, whether it's on the school district level, it's on the Tarrant County College Board of Trustees, or the city council, the mayor, whatever.
Everybody.
It's a partnership.
Yes.
It takes all parties working together in tandem to ensure that our county, our cities, our school districts are ran correctly.
Definitely.
Recently, we saw that in Fort Worth, the state took over the school district.
Just today. What a day.
What are your thoughts on that?
Oh my God, I'm so pissed, Junior. I'm just living in rage today, I gotta tell you. So, for those of you who don't know, the state takes okay, well, I don't even know where to back up to. Okay, let me back all the way up. So the governor, our right-wing, Trump-loving MAGA governor Abbott, appoints the Texas Education Agency commissioner. So this is a guy who's appointed, not elected, and his name is Mike Morath. So he's obviously a Abbott Trump guy, right? Now he recently took over the Houston ISD school district, and I consider these, now that I've read more about it, I really consider these to be essentially analogous to a hostile takeover in a business space. So nobody invited them, and they come and they literally, like Houston and Fort Worth have our duly elected board of school boards, board of trustees, and we also have our superintendent. These all are people from the community, voted on by the people who live there, trusted by the people who voted for them. They're all dismissed. Yeah. They're all gone. And so Mike Morath, Abbott Trump friend Mike Morath, comes in and puts in whoever he wants. And he replaces the whole board that's been elected by the voters. He replaces them with what he calls conservatorship. Like if you were somebody that needed to be taken care of. So these are now conservatorships. And does whatever he wants, and there's no end in sight. So there's no rational end goal. I mean, he'll say like, oh, you have to achieve this, and this. It's a very long list, but it's not reasonably attainable given the scenario that he also sets up in the same breath.
Exactly.
And so he gives you an impossible list of things you can't achieve so that he can stay in control for as long as he wants. And then I've also recently learned that, like in Houston, what's happening now is the high performing schools are getting, kind of portioned off and will be run by charter schools.
Really?
Isn't that fascinating? I just learned that. And so then the remaining portions of the school district are even more struggling because your highest performing schools are no longer adding to that average, right, that Mike Morath has set up for you. And so this just happened today that the TEA has said they're going to take over Fort Worth ISD. And I just could not be more, I know I'm like, look pleasant, but I could not be more like incandescent with rage about this. Like I don't even live in Fort Worth ISD. My kids don't go to Fort Worth ISD, and I'm so pissed off. I think this is such a disservice to our voters, such a disservice to Texans, such a disservice to public education. And I have no faith that they're doing this in good faith. I have no faith that they're doing this for good outcomes for schools or teachers or our kids or learning. Everything we've seen coming out of the Houston ISD takeover in 2023 is extremely disconcerting. They turned 28 public school libraries into discipline centers, and they took out all the books, and they made them in discipline. I just can't. The turnover is insane. The education is not better. Everything that happened in Houston is now going to happen here in Fort Worth. And wouldn't you know it, they're doing this to the blue counties, right? Yeah. So Harris County is a bastion of Democrats now recently. I mean, they just flipped it kind of recently. Yeah. And they took them over, and now they see Fort Worth coming, and they're going to take us over. And then the other thing too is that you just got me going now.
No,
I apologize.
Hey, go ahead. You're good.
And the other thing too is that you and I have seen now that when they want to enact something at an extremist level statewide, they practice here in Tarrant County. Yeah. They practice the redistricting, and then they did it statewide. And now they're doing another school board takeover, and they're going to bring that to the state level. Yes. They have obviously spent every state legislative session undermining public education as much as they can to the breaking point, and now it's breaking. And now they're going to say, oh, well, because it's broken, they won't say they broke it, but because it's broken, now we'll take it over and we'll take it off your hands. Exactly. And I could not be more frustrated with the way things are going. We have no recourse to correct this until we unelect Governor Abbott.
Yeah, until you win the governorship.
Yes.
That's it.
That's how we fix it.
So tell American voters, Texas voters, Tarrant County voters, why they should support Democratic candidates. What is your pitch? If you were on an elevator, 30-second or 1-minute pitch, why should they support Democratic candidates?
Well, so we have failing public education here in Texas, so we need to support our public education, and Democrats are here to do that. We have the most uninsured children in the nation here in Texas, so we need to get our kids on health insurance that we can afford. If we expand Medicaid in the state, we get a billions of dollar boost to our economy here in Texas.
From the federal government.
Yes, it's money on the table. It's already allocated for us, and they're just not taking it. It's not like we have to jump through a hoop. We just have to say yes, and then we get a huge infrastructure boost. And we can actually insure our citizens at the same time. Obviously, we know our maternal mortality rate is through the roof. Our infant mortality rate is through the roof. We can support mothers, kids, babies. We can feed our population. And here's the other thing is that Democrats are actually the fiscally responsible party. Mm-hmm. We're not the ones wasting money on a ballroom or spending $40 billion to Argentina or
$300 million for a ballroom. What was it, 20 or 40 billion bailout to Argentinian government.
Yep.
And then you tell Argentina, President Trump told Argentina, if you don't reelect Milei, I'm taking that money back.
I mean, could it be more corrupt? So my elevator pitch, I guess, I know I've strayed, but elevator pitch, I guess, is like, if you want your kids to be educated, if you want to have healthcare, if you want to have a good job, if you want a prospering economy, vote for a Democrat. If you want a fiscally responsible party, vote for a Democrat. The Republicans have lost the plot. They are completely entrenched in corruption and self-serving attitudes at this point, and have no care whatsoever for their constituents. They can say they do, but you and I both know that's not the case. I have no evidence locally or statewide that Republicans are here for the residents or the citizens or the constituents, and they're doing whatever they want that lines their own pockets. And I don't think that's a good reason to vote for them.
I don't disagree. We have to find a way to communicate this at not at the ballot box in 2026.
Oh, no, much before that, right?
Starting now, now up until November 2026.
Absolutely right.
This country, to me, is the greatest country in the world. I'm an immigrant. I moved here when I was 2 years old.
That's awesome.
The country gave me everything that I have today.
Mm-hmm.
The welfare programs that allowed my family to make it when we were growing up, and my parents were working really hard. My parents were in school trying to get us to where we are today. The free lunches in elementary school,
middle school, high school. Wouldn't it be nice to feed our kids?
The infrastructure, the public infrastructure, the roads, the streets, the bridges, the public education system.
Yes.
From K to 12, I went to school for free.
Isn't that nice?
I was able to go to a good public university, UT Arlington. It's because people invested in this community, people invested in this country, people invested in the state. I believe in the public resources. That's why I support our public schools.
Definitely.
I support our educators. I support our public utilities. Mm-hmm. But we need to make sure that they're public and not privatized.
Oh, gosh, yes.
So people ask me, why do you support the Democratic Party over the Republican Party. I say, well, it's policy. It's strictly policy. I don't care about partisan names or whatever.
Sure.
Which party is going to fight for the working class man?
Yes.
Which party is going to fight for the working class women? Which party is going to make people's lives better? And I'll tell you this. There are some Democratic candidates, some Democratic elected officials that don't do enough. They don't fight hard enough. They don't.
We can keep pushing them, right?
We have to keep pushing them.
Yeah.
And it's for some of them, for me, the way I look at it is that, hey, if you don't do the right thing, we got to get you out. That's how I look at it, because I know, at least within the Democratic Party, we can make some change and push these people out. Unfortunately, for the Republican Party, for the last 40 or 50 years, it's become a party strictly for the wealthy man.
Yes.
The wealthy man, at the expense of the working class, of the poor guy.
Absolutely.
So that's why with our party, I'm very careful. I'm very careful that we don't become like that.
Yep.
Because that's one of my biggest issues with the Conservative Party. So, Allison, thank you so much for coming on today. This has been a very fun conversation. I want to ask you one last question before I let you go. 2026 will be here before we know it.
Yeah, right around the corner.
2028.
Oh, gosh. Yes.
2028. Lord, please.
Let some elections happen and get us there.
Exactly. Yes. 2028 will be here soon.
Yeah.
What is your advice to the up and coming candidates?
Oh, what an amazing question.
That want to one day serve, and not just serve as a city council member, a mayor, a state representative, a state senator, a county commissioner, a county judge. Maybe they want to be a state party chair or a county party chair. What advice do you have to that up and coming, the next generation of leaders that want to be doing what you and I are doing?
Yeah, my advice, and I think you know this advice very well, Junior, which is a lot of people think that they're not qualified, so they don't do it. They don't look for a job in that state ledge office. They don't try to run for city council. They don't throw their hat in the ring to, be a field organizer for a congressional candidate, whatever it is. They don't do it because they don't think you're qualified. People don't even sign up to be a precinct chair because they do not think they're qualified. And my advice is that if you are a person who cares about your community and is willing to talk to your neighbors, you are qualified for anything I just talked about. Everybody is qualified to represent your community, to run for office, to hold that office, to help write laws that affect your neighborhood or your area or your district. And I think more people need to realize that the people who are in office right now just had a gusto of self-confidence and put their name on the ballot. I mean, how many Congress people do we see that they should not be in office? They are not the most educated, intelligent, well-meaning person in their neighborhood. They're not. And if we had more people running for office who had that self-confidence to say, yeah, I do care. Yeah, I've served on PTA, or yeah, I know about this thing or that thing. Let me put my expertise to use. Whatever that expertise is. If your expertise is being able to call your neighbors, that is huge. That is massive, being able to talk to people. And so my advice is just do it. Just get after it. And if you're not sure about it, then you can ring up your county chair or ask your favorite local elected official and start that conversation. But raise your hand and start the conversation. That's my advice is just get after it. Just start, and we'll figure it out along the way. Starting is the hard part. We'll get there.
Starting is the hard part.
Yeah.
I will tell you that. And for me, being someone that was elected at 22 years old, the hardest part was starting.
Yep.
Not knowing what exactly to do, not having that much help or that advice, and just, saying a prayer.
Yep.
And putting
your name down, right?
Put my name on the ballot.
Yeah.
And then pounding the pavement.
Yep.
And you said, let's see what happens.
You talk to your neighbors.
That's it.
Got elected.
Talk to your neighbors.
That's all you need to do.
You have honest conversation, honest dialogue, and it'll take you far. But also, I always tell people, know what your why is. You need to have a why.
Point. Yeah, that's a
We
great
have
point.
far too many people that run for office and get elected that don't give a damn about anybody. Pardon my French. Sorry, Mom and Dad. But don't care,
right.
So we need people to know what their why is.
Yeah.
And that why needs to be why you get involved.
Yeah.
Whether it's serving in office or just supporting your local candidate that you believe in. Know what your why is. And
yeah, you're right. And why, not only if you run for office, people are going to ask you, so you better know, right? But also, what's going to keep you coming back every day? Why are you going to work for free? We're both volunteers, right? Why are you going to keep getting up in the morning to do this? Mm-hmm. And you better know your why. You're right. That's 100%. A good point. Allison Campolo, our Tarrant County, I'm about to say Texas, but Tarrant County Democratic Party Chairwoman. Thank you so much for your time, for your effort, for your work.
look forward to seeing you. Well, I'll see you soon. I mean, you're always running around.
Likewise.
So appreciate all the work that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming on the podcast. We'll see you soon. Appreciate
Thank you for having me.
And thank you guys for tuning in to Fair Play Politics, a conversation with Junior Ezeonu. It's always a pleasure to have you all here. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know who you want to see next. Thank you all, and God bless you. Take care. Bye.